Welcome to the 25 Keys to Love, where you learn to transform negative behavior in your love life and create enriching relationships. These keys are astrological patterns, which you can find on the Love Match functionality at astrowow.com. So, this is what happens when the strongest contact of Venus, which represents love and attraction, is from Saturn. And what if your partner's got this? How will you experience them? Well, first of all, they'll be slow to take the initiative. You in love, they're not going to risk it, So you probably be the one that kind of gets them to make the move. They're kind of a little bit formal, a little bit clumsy, a little status conscious. It's important that you are important for their status, you could say, and you might experience them at first. They kind of when they give themselves up to love, they suddenly become very needy. They really, are loving and really want a lot of love. Maybe, and you might kind of react by being a bit restrained, And as soon as they feel that they're not going to get love, which they kind of think they're not, then they suddenly get a little bit more reserved and act like that they don't need you. So they're a little bit unable to spontaneously show love, and they kind of often get more focus on their work than on the intimacy in the love life. It's a kind of escape, really. Work becomes a kind of escape. But actually, these people often have quite a difficult childhood. They felt unloved as a child. They looked at their parents' marriage and they kind of figured it was like duty-based more than love. They may have some dominating parent or dominating sister. And the whole kind of thing with love is like it was conditional as a child, So if they did this, then they'd get that. So things became kind of a bit conditional. And often, in fact, they may just have been very difficult circumstances, hard circumstances, difficult economy, that kind of thing. So the love for them seems like an undeserved luxury, you could say. But when you're with them, the problem is that you're going to feel unloved. They're not going to express, love to you because it makes them feel vulnerable. So you might end up feeling rather imprisoned in the relationship, and the routines and habits become like restrictive. But you need to understand really that they are very sensitive to rejection and kind of when they create distance or blockage to intimacy, it's because they're kind of expecting rejection. So the more tangible signs you show that you appreciate them, you remember their birthday, you come with a gift, you've got to show that you value them, the more relaxed they're going to get and more open to expressing their vulnerability. So, Venus-Saturn in a partner's horoscope, it brings a relationship that matures well once the partner feels love. And you can, expect them to express the love like a little bit kind of formal, with material gestures and stuff like that. But it can be quite committed and long-lasting. So what if you're the one that's got the Venus-Saturn? How do you act? And you'll probably recognize this, that you actually afraid of getting rejected. Often at the age of around 15, there was some kind of experience in early love, where it didn't work out. You felt rejected, and you made this kind of decision, that you're not going to risk it anymore. But when you actually, what happens often is that you take it too slow. You're waiting until it's completely safe to commit yourself to a relationship. So you can lose somebody because you've never sent any signals that you want them. And you don't want to send any signals you want them because you don't want to be rejected. So you can end up taking the safe option. You choose somebody you're going to be sure of, but you may be not really loving that person. And you may feel that you're not worth loving yourself. So, but when you do actually commit yourself and you feel this, a love, you're really going to be wanting, you're going to be a bit needy, want the person to express a lot of love. And that person might not they've seen you as a kind of cool person, so they don't understand what's going on now. And then you see that as kind of rejection. So you have to get over all of that, you know. The reason is because in childhood, love was conditional. You know, you didn't get any spontaneous expressions of love from your parents or something like that. You know, maybe they were working too hard. Maybe their own relationship was difficult. So you kind of developed low expectations. You know, you didn't expect great demonstration of love. And you also made some kind of decision not to show you were vulnerable. But you have to remember, just like the Beatles said, it's a fool who plays it cool for making his world a little colder. You know, so being cool is not so cool. Also, you know, you have to understand that people who get a relationship with you, they can start feeling unloved because you're too restrained. People really need affection. So, you know, you can't give them too much affection. You have to show you're vulnerable, and you have to understand people are also vulnerable. And if you need to, you could also explain, you know, different circumstances in your childhood that's made you, you know, the way you are. So, you know, show your loved one that you really appreciate the love that you get.